and welcome to this month's J&J Marketing Cafe presented by Photo Art Pavilion. Thank you for joining us live. The benefit of being here live is that you get to join in at the Q&A at the end, so keep your mic muted and let's drop your questions in the chat at any time. We'll get to as many questions as possible during the Q&A in just a bit. Hi, I'm Jessica Lempin, co-founder, COO of Photo Art Pavilion. My business partner, Joanne Hennig, who is CEO, will be joining us in just a little bit at the end. We're a women-owned, women-run business dedicated to supporting fine art photographers in today's digital world. So really, what is Photo Art Pavilion? Well, we're a national curated marketplace built exclusively for fine art photographers. Whether you're emerging or established, we're here to help you create a professional online gallery, with added business guidance and marketing support, plus so much more. Besides the online curated marketplace, we also love to do juried exhibits, and we currently have open calls set up for the space between, which is a minimalistic perspective fine art photography open call. The deadline is on April 3rd, so if you have anything within the minimalist styling, definitely enter in. We have it restricted to only 50 pieces in these shows. Now, if you're new to Photo Art Pavilion and you're looking for a better solution to display your fine art photography, you've definitely come to the right place. Photo Art Pavilion creates a no stress, without expensive website. It's just your art beautifully displayed. Some of our features include 100% commission that goes to you, set up in under 5 minutes, bulk image upload, unlimited art within your online gallery, personal blogging abilities, your social media links are added. It's also a curated and buyer-friendly layout. And we also provide you ongoing marketing support. There are no contracts, no high startup fees. Just contact us at any given time. You could also go to photoartpavilion.com/webinar to jump into our next live webinar. Now, something new that we've been doing, which is rather fun, is our photography critique service here at Photo Art Pavilion. Today is actually the deadline for our group critique session. So if you are looking to take your art to the next level with professional feedback from seasoned gallery and curation experts, whether you're preparing for a show, refining your portfolio, or seeking fresh creative perspectives, our new photography critique services offer the group critique session with thoughtful educational image reviews. We also provide a one-on-one solo critique tailored to your artistic goals, and any actionable insights on composition, storytelling, presentation, and marketing readiness goes right to you. So learn more, book your professional session today. You can go to photoartpavilion.com/photography critique services. Besides our critique services and virtual exhibits, we also provide a Sidekick Marketing Agency, where we are here to help you create content for your photography brand and so on. We know marketing your art can feel overwhelming. That's where Sidekick steps in. We help you create social media content, email marketing campaigns, blog posts, plus full marketing strategies that connect your art with the right audience. So think of Sidekick as your behind the scenes creative team helping your work shine. Now, with that, I'm sure some of you have seen our newest edition, which is our Art and Soul Pavilion Perspectives, where I actually go in and interview our fellow Photo Art Pavilion photographers, and we get to dive into their styling, what draws them to photography. We get to go over their images and I get to ask them a few questions. And it's actually a lot of fun to be able to sit down and chat with fellow art photographers. So definitely go to our YouTube channel. So youtube.com and then @Photo Art Pavilion to be able to see some of these interviews. Now that you know a little bit about who we are and how we're helping to support photographers, let's dive into today's main event. From acceptance to opportunity, turning exhibits into momentum and long-term growth. Now, you've received the email, you read it twice to make sure it's real, you celebrate a little bit, you tell your friends or your spouse, you post the announcement on social media that you got into an open call. And then the next step is usually simple. You show up, you attend the reception, you see your work on the wall, you take a photo next to it, and then the exhibit ends. And if we're honest, most photographers move on to the next open call after that. But here's the shift I want to introduce today. Getting accepted is visibility. Leveraging it is growth. Acceptance means someone recognizes your work, but what do you do after that moment determines whether it actually moves your career forward. If you treat an exhibit like a moment, it disappears. If it becomes one Instagram post, one memory, a line on your CV. But if you treat it, if you treat an exhibit like an asset, something changes. The exhibit can generate conversations. It can create new connections. It can introduce your work to collectors. It can open doors to curators, designers, or other artists. In other words, it can build momentum, and momentum is one of the most valuable things an artist can create, besides your art. So here's the question I want you to think about throughout this talk. What if every exhibit created 3 new opportunities? Not just a moment of recognition, but 3 new doors that open because your work was seen. Today, I want to walk you through how to start thinking about exhibits that way, whether they're in person or virtual. So this way they help you gain momentum. The missed opportunity. Most artists follow a very familiar cycle. They submit their work, they wait for the results, they get accepted, they attend the exhibit or reception, and then they move on to the next open call. There's usually no strategy behind it, no follow-up afterwards, no system to build on opportunity that was just created. The exhibit becomes a moment in time instead of a stepping stone. It's a great experience, but it does not necessarily move an artist forward in any meaningful way. What I want to share with you today is a simple framework that can change that. It's not complicated, it's just intentional. Think about every exhibit in 3 phases. It's the before, the during, and the after. What you do in each one of those phases, it's what turns a single acceptance into momentum and long-term growth. So before the exhibit, you're going to want to, before the exhibit even opens, the most important question you ask yourself is a simple one. What is my goal? Many artists submit their work and wait to see what happens. But if you want exhibits to create momentum, you need to approach them with intention. So take a moment and ask yourself, what do I want this exhibit to do for my work or my career? Is it about growing your collector list? Meeting people who might follow your work and stay connected over time? Is it about strengthening your credibility? Adding another respected exhibit to your bio and professional profile? Is it about building local relationships, connecting with people in your community who also support the arts? Or maybe it's about attracting designers or art consultants who are always looking for new work for their clients. None of these goals are wrong. They're all valuable ways to see the moment for what it is. But the important thing is that your marketing and your behavior around the exhibit should support your intention. If your goal is collectors, you'll need to focus on conversations and contact information. If your goal is credibility, you need to make sure the exhibit is documented and shared professionally. When you're starting with a clear goal, the exhibit stops being passive and becomes a strategic opportunity. For in-person exhibits, one of the biggest mindset shifts I encourage artists to make is this. Do not rely solely on a gallery to promote your work. Galleries are doing many things at once. They're promoting the show as a whole. They're promoting the venue. They're promoting multiple artists. There's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes that most of you don't even realize. But you are the one person whose full responsibility is to focus on your art. And that means your voice matters. If you're not talking about your work, if you're not sharing the journey of preparing for the exhibit, if you're not letting people know where your photography is being shown, then why should you expect the gallery or any other platform to carry the entire responsibility? Your voice gives the exhibit energy and vitality and visibility. You are part of that show. You are one of the many that were selected. So start by personally inviting people into your experience. You could reach out to past collectors, friends and supporters, interior designers, local professionals who may appreciate attending the reception. Let them know where your art will be and invite them to stop by. So some of you are part of different groups on Facebook. These are all different great community locations to be able to share the information, if it's virtual or local in person. Sharing behind the scene moments, the framing of the piece, preparing the print, drop off or installation day at a gallery, even your excitement about seeing your work on the wall. These are all ways to invest back into your experience and to have your 3Fs, family, friends, and fans, to participate in your experience. These small moments can help people feel connected to the journey of your art. And when people feel connected, they're much more likely to show up and support you. You never know. If you're sharing posts about your work, you have somebody who likes it, who probably even shares it on their network. You don't know what happens until you put that out, that information out there. Then when you arrive at the reception or opening, come prepared. Have a business card ready if you have them. Have a QR code that leads to your online gallery or email list, because the goal isn't just to attend the event. The goal is to build relationships. You're here in person having conversations. If you leave the exhibit without new if you leave the exhibit without new conversations, new connections, or new contacts, that's on you. You've missed the one most valuable opportunity the exhibit created for you. Every conversation is a seed, and over time, those seeds are what builds real momentum for your work. With virtual exhibits, amplification is everything. Unlike a physical gallery where people may walk through the door and discover the show, virtual exhibits depend on visibility. People have to be guided to the work. So don't just post one link and assume most people will find out about it. Think about how you can bring your audience into the experience. Tease the image before the exhibit opens. Share a cropped detail of your photograph. Talk about the moment you captured it and what drew you to that scene. Tell the story behind the image. Create your blog, your email, your social media to all help gain that visibility. People connect with the story long before they connect with the print itself. Then when the exhibit opens, share the link, invite people to view the online exhibit. You might even point them directly to your piece and explain why the photograph was meaningful to create. If there's a live virtual reception, invite your audience to the main event. You never know who may show up to support your art, right? We're all connected to people all over the place. You never know who might carve out some time to be a part of your experience. If possible, also share a replay of the event. You can even post the time when your art is being shown for your audience to jump right in. Right through on YouTube, you can actually mark it where you want somebody to jump into. Once the exhibit is live, make sure you update your professional presence. Add it to your bio. Update your online gallery. Mention it on your artist statement or CV. A simple line like recently exhibited in. These small updates build credibility over time. Each exhibit becomes another layer of professional authority. And when people see that your work is consistently being exhibited, something important happens. Your work begins to carry a sense of momentum. So now during the exhibit, at an in-person reception, one of the most important things you can do is simply be present. Don't hide in the corner of the room. Don't rush through the event. Position yourself near your work, not hovering over it, but available. Close enough that if someone pauses To look at your piece, you can naturally join the conversation. Many visitors enjoy meeting the artist. They're curious about the work and the story behind it. A simple way to begin is by asking a question. Instead of starting with, "This is my photograph," try asking something like, "What drew you to this piece?" That question immediately opens a dialogue. It invites the viewer to share what they noticed or what caught their attention, and it creates a much more natural conversation. From there, you could talk about the moment you captured the image, what inspired it, or why the scene was meaningful to you. And it's important to remember something here. The goal of that moment is not to sell the photograph. The goal is to build a connection. When people feel connected to the artist, the story behind the work, they're much more likely to remember you. Follow your work and to stay engaged with what you create next. In many ways, these conversations are the beginning of a long-term relationship with your direct audience. If there's a virtual reception connected to the exhibit, make sure you attend it. Even though the show is online, those moments are still opportunities for connection. Participate in the live session if there is one. Be present in the chat. People often enjoy hearing direct from the artist and learning more about the story behind the photograph. Remember, the platform hosting the exhibit gives you more exposure, but your presence and voice are what create the engagement. And that engagement is what turns a viewer into someone who follows your work and stays connected to what you create next. So now after the exhibit, because we're not done yet. So where the momentum is built. This is the stage where most of us artists stop. The exhibit ends, the reception's over, the work comes off the wall, and everyone moves on. But in many ways, this is actually where the momentum begins. The days immediately following an exhibit are some of the most valuable windows of time you have to stay connected with the people who experienced your work, either in person or virtually. Within the first 72 hours, take a few simple steps. If you meet new people or collected contact information, send them a short email or a text, depending on how you have what contact information you have. Thank them for visiting the exhibit or taking the time to speak with you. It doesn't have to be long. It just has to be a thoughtful note and an invitation to stay connected with your work. Then share the experience with your broader audience. Send an email to your full list. Say something as simple as, "If you missed the exhibit, I wanted to share a few moments from the show." Include a photograph of your work on the wall, maybe even you next to it. If you win an award, you holding the award. Become personable. An image from the reception or a short reflection about the experience, right? Because we want to have people feel connected and be a part of the journey. And here's something important to remember. One exhibit should not result in just one social media post. One exhibit can easily give you 30 days of meaningful content. You can share the story behind the image, the installation process or the drop-off, the opening reception, the inspiration for the work, the award process, hearing from the juror about your work, and the experience of seeing your work, seeing your art displayed. You can even talk about the overall experience of the full view of the show and how you felt seeing your art with the other selected pieces. When you approach it this way, the exhibit continues to create visibility, connection long after the event itself has ended. So now to repurpose some of your information. You worked hard to get accepted into the exhibit, right? You took that time out. You selected the art that you felt worked with the right theme. You took a chance and entered. And now, what are you doing? You worked hard to get accepted into the exhibit. You prepared the image. You submitted the work. You waited through the jurying process. So don't let all of that effort turn into one social media post or two, right? Like, I just got accepted. And if you win an award, you want to dive in deeper. So don't let all of that effort, Instead, think about how one opportunity can be extended and shared in multiple ways. You create a few social media posts and show different parts of the experience, the artwork itself, the installation of the moment of seeing it on the wall. You can write a short blog or an article about the exhibit and the inspiration behind the photograph. You can include experience in the newsletter, invite your audience into the journey of your work. You can also share a bit of the exhibit professionally on platforms like LinkedIn, where curators, designers, and creative professionals may discover your work. Update your website or your gallery so that the exhibit becomes part of the ongoing professional story. And in some cases, you might even reach out to local publication or arts organization with a short press pitch about the show. The idea is simple. Repurpose the experience, extend your visibility, allow the exhibit to continue working for you. Over time, every exhibit becomes another chapter in your professional narrative. And when people see your work consistently appearing in exhibits, something powerful happens. Your work begins to carry credibility, momentum, and presence within the art community. After every exhibit, ask, how will this create 3 new opportunities? Will you thank the curator personally? Will you connect with another artist? Will you reach out to a publication? Will you invite designers to view your portfolio? This is how momentum builds, small, consistent leverage. So the bigger picture, exhibits are not events, they are assets. When you shift your mindset, everything changes. Exhibits are not one-time events, they are full-on assets for you. Each one builds credibility, visibility, connection, and opportunity. Momentum is not luck, it is a strategy applied consistently. I want you to leave here thinking differently about your next acceptance. From this point on, how will you see your next open call? How will you decide what your goals are with this open call and if you're accepted into the show? So now with that, I want to also offer you a bonus because, hey, why not? It's fun. So here I've created a phase, I think it's 4 phases, and it's all different check marks of things that you can do to support your business, your art, every time you enter an open call and become accepted. So for this one, it's about create the visibility and the anticipation. I have a few steps here for announcement and marketing. From there is tell the story of the work, personal invitations, right? We have access to a growing email list. You're able to go through right on to social media and send direct messages. All of these are really easy. You just have to take the time to do it. You have local, local interior designers. Invite them to the show if it's an in-person show. Prepare your connection tools. So what that means is if you have a business card, bring them. Do you have a QR code for someone to be able to have quick access to view your gallery? These are all different things to help you expand the reach and the connection. Now, phase 2 is during the actual event. You're going to want to turn attention into the relationships. At the reception or opening, make sure you stand near your work. Ask the viewers if what drew them into this piece. From there, I have a couple of different steps for building connection. Capture content, which means it's all about either videos or photos of the experience of you in this space, other people, show the story visually. And from there, virtual exhibit engagement, right? Did you step out of your comfort zone and have a couple of different conversations? Have you reached out, maybe connected with other local photographers? Have you reached out and met just viewers of the exhibit? These are all things that help build your momentum. Phase 3, after the exhibit, extend the opportunity. Follow up within 72 hours. Send out your thank yous to your contacts, either digitally. You can even write little notes, card notes if you have specific kind of people that you wanted to reach out to. You can repurpose the exhibit into content. I have that information listed there, maybe like 3 to 5 social media posts, the blog, newsletter, LinkedIn, website, you name it. Also, strengthen your professional presence. Add the exhibit to your gallery update your CV, mention the exhibit in your artist statement, if relative, and so on. Phase 4, create new opportunities. After every exhibit, ask yourself, how will this create 3 new opportunities? Connecting with a curator, collaborating with another artist, pitch a local publication, invite designers to view your portfolio, apply to another exhibit. With the same body of work, momentum grows with each exhibit. Each exhibit leads to the next step. Now, this is a lot of information. And my bonus areas, I can create a quick cheat sheet for you guys if you wanted to send me an email. And I could definitely provide that for you. So if you want, you could always email hello@Photo Art Pavilion for that. And now it comes to the end of our chat. I want to bring in Joanne to be able to share in her 2 cents of today's topic.
Hey, Jess. Hey, everybody. How are you doing today? Thanks for being with us. Jess, great presentation as always. My 2 cents, or just a few actually. One of the things that you mentioned earlier in the presentation was intention. And as with everything in life, intention has to be ever present. If we want things to occur and happen and move in a positive direction, we have to put the right thoughts and energy behind that. So intention with regard to your art, with regard to anything that you're doing around an exhibit, I think that's vitally important. Knowing what your goals are going into, we enter exhibits, we're excited about that. We think our art pieces are going to fit, whatever the open call is. We do then get accepted, and then what? We, as the artist, it's up to us to really push the entire exhibit, because when we push the entire exhibit, we're pushing our own work along with that and aligning our work with everything else that's available within that exhibit. So I find intention is very, very important to kind of not separate yourself from the group that is part of the exhibit, but to align yourself with what it is that's going on, because those messages, a lot of times exhibits, and if not always, are thematic. So within those themes, we want to highlight how our work fits in, number one, and how it stands out, number two. So I think that those are very good things. Our family, friends, and fans, we talk about this all the time. They love to see us winning. So when you are accepted into an exhibit, you need to pull out that bullhorn and announce, A, you've been accepted. B, here's where the exhibit is located. C, how you can attend and be a part of my experience and support me. And then D, again, once the exhibits are finished, if you had a sale, terrific. Any contacts that you've acquired during that exhibit, staying in touch and reaching out to them. One of the things with exhibits, I feel they are just as important as direct email campaigns. There's a lot of energy that goes into the experience of being a part of an exhibit, and sometimes there's a lot of expense that goes along with it as well. So don't squander what you're doing around having an exhibit, a live exhibit, whether it be virtual or in person. Don't squander that win, if you will. I think you need to really get out and let your people who you are connected with learn about what it is that you're doing, and really brag or broadcast your wins across as many channels as possible. Jessica mentioned quite easily direct email campaigns, social media campaigns, blogging, and then anything else that you can do along with that. If you're at an exhibit and your work is on the wall, walking around, collecting contacts, that's a great way to, and again, the other contacts can be other photographers. There's nothing wrong with that. We're not in competition with one another. We're in a community. That's one of the things that we've always stressed at Photo Art Pavilion, is the fact that we're a community. So we're here to help one another, to share with one another. So if you're walking around an exhibit and you see another art piece that's outstanding, you love it, make sure you get that artist's contact information and start communicating with them. Learn, grow, be better. Every opportunity that you have to be better is right there in front of you. So that's really my 2 cents, Jess. I thought it was nicely laid out. I always like the bonus area where you give the photographers an opportunity to um, sort of package everything up into a few slides and then put that stuff into action. And action is always equal to intention in my mind. So,
I
great,
agree.
great presentation. And yeah, I thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem. And I also want to add too, I know I quickly went over it, but speaking with other photographers, you never know. You might have a good synergy together and then you don't know where that might take off. Perhaps you two are able to open up into a different space. I know there's been a couple of different J&Js where I talk about reaching out to local businesses and you're able to get your work up there. So you never know what seeds will be created by your intention of the momentum of an
Yeah,
exhibit.
yeah,
So,
it's important. And
yes.
be consistent. This is just part of being consistent. So we do a lot of social media posting and direct emailing and blogging. And now we have this exhibit. Okay, this is another avenue for us to get our work out there. But just be consistent with what you're doing. Don't stop. Let's say you apply for an open call and you don't get accepted. Well, okay, that's one setback. That's not the end of all ends, right? We have to keep moving forward. We have to keep trying, keep putting ourselves out there, keep putting our work out there. So that's the only way we're going to grow, and that's the only way we're going to develop brand recognition for our work, for our name, and for everything that we're doing with art photography.
Well, I hope you guys are all getting out of your comfort zones and taking that extra step and seeing what doors open just from doing the unexpected or the uncomfortable elements of getting your work out there. So enjoy the process, enjoy the journey.
All right, I think that's it. I think that's a wrap.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you for carving out some time today.
Thanks, everybody. See you next month.
Thanks.
Yes.
Bye.